All right, today we are looking at transformations of linear functions. So our title for our notes will be transformations. So a transformation is a change. We're going to be looking at graphs to see if the graph moves up, does the graph move down. We're going to see, does it get steeper or does it get flatter? Does it get less steep? So these are the things we will be looking at, these changes. So you can put a note that these are changes. So every graph will always start at the same place. This start is something called the parent function. This is our start. And that start is going to be y equals x. So every time we will start at the same spot, y equals x. And here, our slope is 1 because there's no number, and our y-intercept is 0. So it'll be y equals 1x plus 0, or just y equals x. So we're going to see how, if we change the slope, how does the graph change? And if we change the y-intercept, how does our graph change? So let's take a look. So the first thing we're going to look at is what happens if we change our slope. So we're going to start by if we change the m. So our original graph is going to look something like this. So our starting graph looks something like this. If we change our slope, what's going to happen is that if our m becomes bigger than 1, our graph is going to get steeper. So for example, if I had an equation y equals 3x, here my slope is 3, so my graph would get steeper. So my graph would look something like this. So it's turning up to get steeper. So that's if our slope is bigger than 1 for changing our slope. But now our slope could also be smaller than 1. So if we get a slope that's between 0 and 1, it's going to be less steep. So our original looks something like this. So if we get less steep, for our example, we could say y equals 1 over 3. 1 over 3 is between 0 and 1. So if I look, excuse me. we would end up something like this. So you can see it's gone from our original position, and now it's less steep. It's gone a little tilt down. So for our slope, our two options are either going to be it's less steep or it's getting steeper, more steep. So that's the change in our slope. It either tilts up or tilts flat. But another piece we could change is we could change the y-intercept. We could change b. So if we change b, let's see what happens if we have plus a number. So our original graph is still going to be the same, this line in the middle. But for our example, let's think about if we say y equals x plus 4. So we still have y equals x, but now we have plus 4. So if I have this graph, we're going to go up 4, and then it'll look the same. So it would be something like this, where it just goes up. So here, if it's plus, all we did was we go up. Up, up, up. Line's the same. But now we could also, instead of doing plus a number, for our b, we could do minus a number. So if I start with my first line, look something like this. But this time, if we say we have y equals x minus 4, instead of adding, going up 4, now I want to go down to negative 4. So then if I make the rest of my line, it looks the same. All we've done is gone down 4. So for this one, if we do minus b, we go down. So these are the things we want to think about. Is there plus to go up? Is there minus to go down? Is my m bigger than 1? Is it steeper? Is my m less than 1? Is it less steep? So these are the things we're going to think about as you work through 2 different practice activities. So if you go to Google Classroom, you will find that there is a quizzes and a Desmos for you to try.